and welcome to another episode of Honest or Bold with myself, Duncan Donuts, and Mike, aka Tuppence, aka Twopence. And this week seems to be a bit of a mix-up because we thought we were getting Jodie Foster, but instead we've got Richard Foster, almost as famous, Chief Explorer at Exploring English Whisky. Richard, brilliant to have you on. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Sorry to disappoint on the Foster front.
You're welcome. Mike, what's the episode number today?
So we are episode 96, and it is due south. South of the border, English whiskey.
South.
Great idea for a title already for this episode. I'm very happy and slightly overexcited.
Well, that's one of the great reasons for having Richard on, other than being a lovely gentleman, is that he has a ton of knowledge about English whiskey. With no further ado, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself for listeners, Richard, and how you've accumulated this level of wisdom about whiskey south of the border?
Wisdom is a high accolade. Wait till I've spoken and then you can touch judge.
All right.
I started my whiskey journey really about sort of 2016, 2017, working alongside Diageo, a couple of content agencies, and getting to know the brands, Johnny Walker, Talisker, Singleton, Mortlock, just really kind of loved the stories behind them and started doing really some sort of internal training, so tastings at work to kind of teach people, what the products were that we were actually working with. And then that became a hobby, doing tastings outside of work, and then lockdown hit, and obviously we all started doing these horrendous tastings online.
Yeah.
And one of the first ones I did actually was a St. George's Day tasting. So we got together some English whiskey distilleries. I'd come across Cotswolds previously on I think it was like a Six Nations tasting. And so, pulled together some English whiskey, thought this would be quite fun. Didn't expect it to really go anywhere, but the response to that event was phenomenal. And I had people saying, hey, you should do an English whiskey festival. So we did 2 online English whiskey festivals, keeping that wonderful virtual experience alive as long as we could flog that dead horse. And off the back of that, decided that, wanted to do it properly and do a physical event. So at that point, I kind of quit the day job and threw everything into whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, Croydon's been a roaring success. That's one of yours, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
That was actually the first. So that when I quit my job, that was, oh my God, I'm going to do this thing in November with English whiskey. I've got to get to November. I need to earn some money. I need to, experience running bigger events. And I'm a Croydon boy. And I thought, well, if you can put a whiskey festival in Croydon, for anyone that knows Croydon, it's a sort of concrete jungle that you pass through on your way between London and Brighton, and you rarely, stop to appreciate it. It's many wonders. And we did. We pulled it off, and the first year was a great success, and it's literally grown year on year since then. So I think we're going to our 5th year in March next year.
Yeah, again, one of the better events I've been to.
Yeah, one of the better events that the staff that work there love attending. Like all the brands have a good laugh at Croydon. So yeah, definitely up there with your sort of Kendalls and stuff. So good work, you.
Yeah, top
Thanks
job.
for
So that's how you got a bit into whiskey, and obviously you run a couple of events. You've got an events business, but you also do Exploring English Whisky and Exploring Whisky. Would you like to give us a bit of a lowdown on each of those?
Yeah, sure. So Exploring English Whisky is primarily a membership organisation focused on promoting and celebrating everything to do with English whiskey. So we encourage people to join our membership. From that, they can undertake experiences like our festival. So if you're a member, you save money or get a free ticket depending on your membership tier. We've got 2 products out at the moment. So we've got our Adnams 9-year-old bottling, and we've got a new tasting pack. And we've also got cask shares, so people can buy into casks as they're maturing. And we do that with a partner platform called Distilling Cask, which I know you guys are aware of.
Yeah.
So that's the English side of things. And we do distillery tours and other tastings and the odd online tasting. Still have to do them, sadly.
There's a place for them.
There's a place.
There's a place for
definitely
them.
a place.
You just to do both in real life and a bit of online stuff.
Yeah, my dream is to just be able to do the physical one with everyone who's virtually dining in just on a big screen.
I love the fact you keep saying physical. Like, I'm going to one of Richard's physical tastings.
And the audience on big screens behind, just hundreds of TVs.
He's like, don't stop moving whilst you're drinking that whiskey. Keep moving.
Sponsored
10
by
burpees.
Jen Wicks.
10 burpees, yeah. You're more like, for me, if I had to put you in a sort of, because everyone puts each person in a pigeonhole, you're somewhere between Alan Rickman in Robin Hood and Ethan Hawke for me.
Fucking hell, that is spectacular, Duncan.
I would say that.
Firstly, it's spectacularly nice. Well done, because I'd have gone in a different direction.
He's a handsome fella, isn't he, Richard?
You've
He's
been
a handsome
nice.
fella.
Yeah.
He's a handsome fella. So
Jesus.
if That's why I asked where you were from before, because I was thinking, if there's any chances from Nottingham, this would be amazing. Yeah. But no, it turns out you're from Croydon, Sheriff of Croydon. That's your new nickname, just saying.
Sheriff of Croydon.
So more physical tastings, as you put it. Oh, that's a new phrase coined there. It's no longer an in-person tasting; it's a physical tasting. A bit of cask stuff, club stuff. You're a busy man. How'd you keep it all going like that? There's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, because the other side is Exploring Whisky, which I didn't even get onto. So that's the local tastings and Croydon Whisky Festival, and Exploring Whisky Bristol, which is our Bristol Whisky Festival. Yeah. Possibly other locations next year, TBC. How do I keep it all going? It's like a very big train hurtling downhill, and you just kind of have to keep going, because at some point, if you stop, it's going to all come off the rails and cause catastrophe. You just go, well, if we just keep loading more stuff on, it'll keep going, it'll move, and we'll break through any obstructions. So it's sheer massive stuff.
A bit like that train. Is it Freight Train or whatever? What's the film about the runaway train? Everyone knows Speed with the bus when it keeps going. What's the one about
Speed 2?
No, there's one with the train.
Speed 3.
They keep trying to stop it, and they can't stop it because the brakes are gone on it.
So it's like that.
Yeah. No, it's an actual film. The whole film is about a train that's run away. So anyway, your analogy is it's a runaway train, and you can't stop it. You just keep loading stuff up on top of it. Good. So, Mike, also 1996. We've been doing songs, haven't we?
Mate,
what have you got for us?
Do you know what I've got? And I've been looking forward to this one because this is a special year. Now, that's what I call music 34. This, to me, is one of the best summers of music that ever existed. Euro 96.
Euro 96.
That whole summer was just absolutely amazing. Start to finish. Gazagol, you lot getting knocked out. Hilarious. You all were like proper in on it. As Wales, we were laughing our heads off.
Always take the highs. Always take the highs. With the highs with the lows is fine. It's the lows without the highs.
This is the same point. I've probably paid money to watch Wales lose to San Marino. So my hatred for English football was probably peak. And to see you then kill off Scotland, then crash out, was just fantastic. This album in particular is like the epitome of that summer. And compact disc number 2, track 19, Cast Walk Away, was the exit song for Euro 96 after you lost. So it's always a special memory for me on that one, which I thought was quite poignant for this English whiskey celebration.
Yeah, remember, there's today. 2 English chaps on the pod.
I know. Today. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm loving the faces because it was very similar to when I annoyed.
Yeah, because it's a painful. If you like football, it's a painful memory, isn't it?
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I walked out into the garden and cried.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to cry now. It's just, it's amazing how quickly you can tap back into that emotion. That's the closest. That was the best.
Because you had such highs, like. There is no way you should have lost that tournament. The Gaza, the water squirting into the mouth, like everything about that tournament was you're winning this, and it is coming home. Still hasn't. The difference between that and when we lost at Wembley to Italy is there was the level of atmosphere in 1996 was just off the scale. Right.
Whereas when we played Italy at Wembley, everyone was like, great, we're in a final. But it wasn't the same vibe.
I'm going to ignore track 19 on disc 2 because it's clearly hurting your emotions. I'll run through some other big ones from that period. Let's go. Peter Andre, Mysterious Girl. You must have some awesome high school memories of that song.
Absolute banger.
Youth Club Special. Ocean Colour Scene, The Day We Caught the Train. Yes.
What a tune that is.
Mate, it just gets
underrated. They're
better.
Underrated, Ocean Colour Scene, I think.
Born Slippy, Underworld.
Tune.
Gina G, just a little bit. Getting better as we go.
Oh man, the late 90s was so good. For Ben Nevis and music. Yeah,
Tupac, California Love, Wink, Higher State of Consciousness. We got Dance on the Go. Robert Miles, Children, Beast. But genuinely, one of the best songs I think ever made. How Bizarre by OMC.
How bizarre.
Is it possible to even hear that and just not start throwing your head a little bit and doing stupid Hispanic accents? I'm going to say there's zero chance you can do it.
It's hard to know exactly when songs come out, but I feel like there's a lot of songs there's probably more very good songs than that from 1996. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Blur, Charmless Man, Suede, Trash, Lost Del Mar, Macarena.
Macarena was 1996.
We're ending on a high, I think. We should probably leave it at Macarena.
Yeah.
Just absolute bangers. Some real good. I think, personally, we should be doing an OMC intro for this one.
Yeah, I was going to do... I was thinking about doing the Bryan Adams song for Richard. There's no way. What year was that?
Yes. I'm going to leave that one
and
to
you will
to hit
buy
those notes, because
this whiskey cask from me.
what Duncan did on the last track we put together,
Transfer
and he's
your
like,
money.
Go and have a look. Just put some
Yeah.
lyrics down on this one. And I've gone in, and there was like, I shit you not, maybe 16 different tracks of instruments and audio and everything else. I was like, I do two things when I make them. You went all out. I'm very impressed. So well done to you, Duncan, for the last
That was
one.
you're talking about the No Diggity rip-off, aren't you?
Yep, for the Dalmore job.
You
Strip
loved
it
that,
back.
didn't you?
I prefer that to the original. Like
I did it all on acoustic.
decent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to take that I'll take that compliment. I'm going to put that in my pocket. I'm going to keep that for
It's
later.
very rare I
pleasant.
give them out to you. You have that one. That was good. That was very, very good.
So, Richard, what's been in your glass and what's been up your arse this week?
Up my arse is COVID, because I got it back in March and I'm still struggling to smell. I lost my sense of smell.
Oh,
I'm
man.
still struggling. So,
Jesus, 3
in this
months.
line of work,
I'm really sorry to hear that. That really sucks. Yeah, that's terrible.
it's like, it's the irony of being endowed with such a massive honker and it not working.
I see you two with your massive noses. Unbelievable. Do you know what? One of my friends from school, still a friend now, he genuinely lost his sense of smell and didn't get it back. So I really hope yours fully recovers.
Yeah, I'm doing all the training. I'm sniffing the coffee grinds every morning. I can't walk past any kind of herb without just rubbing the leaves and having a smell. People think I'm very weird.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is just really train your nose again, really get it involved.
Yeah, I'm like the Rocky of nasal aroma. I'm like going out every morning, like down.
Training montage for your nose,
Yeah.
break the internet. Richard, seriously, training montage for your nose, break the internet. Finish with the run up the steps, and when you get to the top steps, sniff something. Very nice. So that's what's been up your arse. Unfortunately, you're regaining your sense of smell to its fullest capacity. What's been in your glass, Richard?
Right now, I do have some Spirit of Birmingham. This is from our phenomenal cask, actually, that we did with them, which is available on Stilling Cask. Other cask share platforms are available, but not as good. And you guys obviously know a little bit about Spirit of Birmingham, but they make a single malt and they make a mixed mash bill. And everything that they produce, so be that whiskey, vodka, beer, all comes from the same ingredients, the same initial product. So what we did with Anthony and Joan was we bought a 100-litre English oak cask from Jensen's Cooperage, medium toast, medium char. Always sounds like you're sort of ordering off a really poncy menu when you talk about cask. Medium toast, medium char. And we filled it with, Anthony filled it with the kind of the low ones, the beer, essentially, that comes, that wash liquid. So it kind of was seasoned for 6 months with their own, for want of a better word, beer. Obviously, it hadn't been hopped. It's not a beer in the traditional sense. So that's sat in there for 6 months. Then it was emptied out. We filled it with the new mate. So that's what this is now. It's the maturing spirit in that kind of beer seasoned cask. Anson then bottled the beer. And if you buy a share in the cask, you get a bottle of whiskey at the end of the journey, but you also get 2 bottles of the beer to enjoy and kind of compare next to the whiskey. So,
I'm
Really,
literally
very
just going to
nice.
say, I dived into the site and it's brilliant. You can see the physical cask on here. There's a picture of what you're actually buying a share of. And there is a hell of a lot of casks on here, including a Welsh one, which I'm glad to see. But obviously, we can't talk about it on this episode. It is quite a good selection of stuff you've got here, mate.
What kind of distilleries are on there, Mike?
Pages and pages of casks. It is
Right.
really could be expensive. I'm now like, I'll come back to this in a minute because there's amazing stuff. I like the fact you can see the physical cask, pictures of it, prices are here, what you get, and when it's available. You're buying part of an aging cask, so you're waiting until it's bottled. All these fees include VAT and everything like that. It is literally what you pay at the end, or is that?
So the price that you see on the website is the share price. That's just you're buying the liquid while it's in bond. And there's a little bit when you click for more info. There's a little bit that gives you an estimated price of duty, VAT, postage, etc.
Okay.
But that final thing includes postage. So just a hypothetical, the Spirit Bourbon cask, I think we've got it down at £60 a share, £50 if you're a member of Exploring English Whisky. You pay 50 quid now, and then when it's matured and bottled, there'll be an email saying redeem your share, and you'll have to pay an extra roughly 30 quid, just under 30 quid, depending on how much duty goes up.
Oh, you got some Lancaster spirits. You got brandy on the go. What is that? Tokai Azu Aged Mercia Rye. What is that?
That sounds a bit wacky.
What is that?
It is incredibly wacky, but it is an experimental cask. So,
But that's a good thing.
yes,
You've got to do some experimental stuff. Equally, if you don't do anything experimental, you've kind of got to wait, a long time, a really long time, so you've got to do some experimental stuff. I would only have a cask cask business if I could buy the domain bungholes.com. I'd be all for it then. Like people coming to bungholes.com to peruse my casks.
If it was a bourbon cask, it
Yeah.
would be Cornholio bunghole.
Yes.
Yeah, Cornholio Bung. If I had to have a real whiskey name, like Captain Cornholio Bungholes, that would be great.
Oh, not enough
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead references these days. I like it. Well done.
Very good. So what's been in your glass has been the Spirit of Birmingham whiskey. But what about on the palate?
I mean, it's really rich. It's chocolatey. It's nutty. Not even
right.
whiskey yet. It is phenomenal.
Oh, you said new make that's been sort of it's on its journey. They get quite a lot of flavour into it even at a young age. There, the two of them. Mike, what about you? What's been in your glass? What's been up your arse?
What's been in my glass is a horrific amount of Guinness because I went to the rugby league final on Saturday and I'm still hungover. So I am genuinely struggling.
1-2 day hangover. Good
Yes. 150 of people I've worked with over like 15 years meet up every year and it's not pleasant. I mean, it is pleasant. It's lovely to see them, but physically it's torturous. That's what I would say. Oh yeah, I was in one hell of a state. Last train home. But I will say my train snacks have improved. Laura's like, what is wrong with you? Basically now eating char-grilled artichokes and mixed olives and feta on the train home.
Right.
Gone are the days of pork pies, my friend. Thinking of the waistband.
Look, if you're happy, you're happy. I mean, if I did that, I'd get it back. And if I walked past a kebab shop, I'd still buy a kebab.
Yeah, with
problem.
olives, even better.
Yeah.
And then whiskey-wise, I did the blind drams tasting. Supposed to be on Saturday. Took part, did my own notes on the Friday. And for me, that was the best blind drams I've potentially ever been on.
Oh, that's always the way when I miss them.
For me, they were all SMWS bottlings, which was mind-blowing because, yeah, we know how hit and miss they can be, but he picked some absolute corkers. For me, scored him a 3-3, 3, and then a 5 and a 5, 2 5s at the back. But the Kalila, it was one of the special releases. Sold out now, unfortunately, but keep an eye on it.
Peated or unpeated?
Peated. I was like, he's trying to trick me here. This is like one of the Ardnaho societies or something. I just felt like I was immediately being targeted because I loved it instinctively. And I was like, oh, could be the same.
Ardnaho, they say back to front in terms of a Kalila experience. Right?
So, mate, it was absolutely banging. So I'll find out what it was. I'll look at it on Blue Sky. I'll post it somewhere. But yeah, done that. And then at the moment in my glass, I have got Gulliver's English Whisky finished in rum casks. Due from Samuel Gulliver's. Is an acquaintance and yeah, love what they do. Really, really old family history around bottling. Lovely all round chaps and not a bad whiskey. Better than Cane and Fire when I do a comparison. Yeah.
Do the comparison.
Yeah, quick 1 minute comparison. I like
Very
the English
nice.
one better, which is shoot me down, people. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
How about you? What's been in your glass and what's been up your ass?
What's been up my arse is really easy. Just today, helping our 5-year-old with her homework. And she told me off for how I write R's because occasionally I have to help her with a word. And so she just came over to me to say, Daddy, just we've talked about this before, but that's not how you do R's. You have to do them like this. And I was like, that's how I do my R's. I feel like I'm being targeted.
Oh, no.
And then it got me thinking, the phrase feedback is a gift, right? That's what's been up. When people say all feedback is a gift, well, look, you are see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Feedback's a gift, by the way. I think, what is that phrase? That's what's been annoying me. It's that whole sort of culture. Everyone has to give and take feedback. But at the end of the day, sometimes if you're having a long day. So anyway, being told off for how to write my R's and the whole feedback culture that exists in 2025.
Love it. What's been in your glass?
A few things. Finished a few bottles off. Finished off a Dalby Alley. 6 or 5 or whatever. A couple other bottles, made some space in the cupboard. Oh, also had a nice bit of Ben Momac car strength. But what's in my glass right now is I've opened up Wireworks, the one I beat you at auction, Mike. The
fucking prick.
Cadoro.
Oh, you did it right. Fuck
yes. Which is 50-50 with me because when you learn something wrong,
it's there.
You remember it wrongly. So so I'm having that. It's really nice. And we did discuss this before. But I'm side by siding it with Siren Bay 18. And the reason for that is they're the same price point. They're both about 60 quid
Madness.
RRP. I mean, because the Siren Bay is forever being discounted. So I've got both in my glass to just see which one I prefer. so far I've only had a sip of the Cadura. It's very good. You know,
I forgot to say what's been up my arse.
other than hangover.
Yeah. What is up my arse is tiredness. And what I've learned is that tiredness breeds tiredness. Hence why I've forgotten to say what was up my arse. Last night, Isla woke up at 2 a.m. Lara got out of bed first for once. It's normally me diving over. And
For once.
yeah, I'm
It's
always
not therapy,
first because Lara will go and get milk
Glass
or
half full,
whatever.
mate,
I'll
glass
do
half
the
full.
changing and the try and calm the aggressive little mini me down. So yeah, last night Lara's woken up, looked at her phone, and misread 2 for like 5 something. So brings Isla into the bedroom, shoves Bluey on, and gives her a fucking yogurt at 2 a.m. Isla's like, it's morning.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
was like, oh my God.
She's like, let's fucking go. She's
And
like, let's go.
I'm
What?
confused. I'm going like, I don't understand what is going on. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, the thing is she's like, she's up now. And I'm like, it's 2 a.m. She's like, no, it's not. It's like 5 something. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, starting to stir. And I'm like, get my phone, do the bits. So I was like, it's 2 a.m. And I was like, look. And she's like, oh,
Oh.
shit. And it's like, snatch the yogurt off her and try to get her back down. She's now
Maybe-
having a sugar spike. And I'm like, ah.
Maybe she hasn't woken. Maybe she hasn't woken up fully. She's like, I'm watching TV, 2 a.m. What? She's like, what?
Right. So yeah, that's what's
It's
been up
so
my arse.
difficult, isn't it, when you're tired and stuff?
Yeah.
What to
And
do?
It's one of those ones. So I'm like, I'm kind of laughing now. I'm still feeling the effect of it, but we will properly laugh at that at some point. But yeah, funny up my arse for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I solo dadded this weekend. Both kids on my Todd. Well, yeah, you say that, but you know we should do it. But all I would say is, my heart goes out to all introverted single parents, because the amount of energy involved in the downtime you need to recover from that is off the scale. I mean, every hour you probably need a full day to get.
I
over
don't
it.
understand how you can do 2 on your own all day. Like
You can't. You just have to. It's only the thing is. This sounds terrible. I only did 2 days. I mean, not even a full 2 days. But it's 1 is so easy and 2 is so difficult. I think you have to get up to the realms of 4 where you just don't care anymore. It's just absolute chaos. And then once you get to like 3 or 4, you like don't even know where they are. You're like, I don't care what's going on. But when you got 2, you very much know what they're up to.
It's like storming the beaches in World War II. You just like, instead of a grenade, you're throwing in a box of sugar puffs. Right, kids, fend for yourself. I'll see you in 4 hours.
Well, the youngest one is fond of doing things like turning off the oven, turning off the washing machine, pulls everything. We talked about this, Mike.
Yeah.
She's a troublemaker.
Adventurous.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah. I don't feel like this is a fair comparison. Actually, I think I've made a bad decision because this is a lovely, lightly peated, rich, delicious whiskey, and this Siren Bay is actually, usually I can't taste the medicinal peat on it, but when I taste it side by side, this is so medicinally peaty compared to this, which obviously it's just straight up heather peat. I think very lightly peated. They're the same price point, but I'm not sure the comparison's fair. But I'm going to drink them now because I've poured them out, so it is what it is. Bit of honesty.
So speaking of peat, and as the subject of this episode is English whiskey, have you come across Retribution Distilling Co. yet?
I think I saw them advertised. I think I've seen them somewhere, but I don't think I've tried any of it. But go and tell us a bit about them then.
Just outside Prüm in Somerset, and Rich is the next engineer who has built the distillery himself in some little farm buildings. You literally have to kind of squeeze through because he's got all this kit. He's built these different stills. He didn't like one still, so he built his own version of it. He had his own stills commissioned at a local fabricator to his design. But the thing that is the kind of pièce de résistance of his experimentation, he's experimented with yeast, he's experimented with grains, but he has sourced peat from the Somerset levels, and he's smoking his own green malt in literally like a B&Q shed with a domestic smoker, just trays and trays that he's drilled holes in, trays and trays of malt. He's smoking it, and he's making the only English peated whiskey in the world, and it's phenomenal.
That sounds amazing.
How's that coming out taste-wise? Because obviously we got Isla Hospital, and then, as Duncan said just then, Heather sort of thing. What is it? What realms are we in?
So it's not whiskey yet, to just carry out. So you can buy a share on Distilling Cost.
Yeah, good.
It's okay. You big it up.
Plug away.
Plug it. But So we've actually got one of the first. He did 2 casks at 50% peated malt, and everything since has been 25%. He just couldn't keep up with literally smoking in a small shed. But
right.
he's doubling the smoker. He's going big. It tastes like, so it's peatland that's kind of coastal plains. So the sunset levels flood and then dry out, and then flood and then dry out. So when the sea's out, then it's like salt marsh, and you get the sheep and all the animals grazing it, and then it floods again. It is a little bit briny. There's a salinic kind of note, but it's earthy. It's deep. It's rich. It's
nice. I'm interested.
Can I just, anyone listening that's got a B&Q shed, I'd just like to apologise on behalf of Richard there, because I noticed a subtle dig. People that have only got B&Q sheds.
Yeah.
It's all right. I haven't got a shed. But if you have got a shed and it's from B&Q,
compared to a malting
maybe
floor,
you can find it in your heart to forgive Richard for that.
I mean, I'm judging from the comfort of my summer house.
It's got bricks, made out of bricks. So on that, there's a little bit of a gem. You're giving a little insight there. Obviously, you know a lot about, even whatever you say. If you're going to be humble. But tell us, what other English whiskey or nearly English whiskey is out there you think you're looking at thinking, wow, that's super interesting at the moment? Like, I'm a bit fascinated by that. You've just mentioned one. Is there any others out there where you're looking at it thinking, this, for us, like we had the whole Coles thing, like Coles in Wales blew my mind. That was just off the chart. Even though it's not high tech, it's low tech, it still blew my mind. So have you got anything like that where you're looking at it and thinking, this is going to be wacky or this is interesting?
The majority of English whiskey is interesting. Roll back just a little bit. So I always get asked, what is English whiskey? How is it different to Scotch? Or, people might say, isn't it just Scotch made south of the border? It's like, no, equivocally not. There are some distilleries that are trying to make a Scotch-like product.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to do. Like, a lot of the gravy in Scotland actually comes from England. But actually what a lot of English distilleries are doing on a much, much smaller scale. So, no one in England is producing millions of litres of grain whiskey or, creating massive vats of blends and sending around the world. But everything you get from English distilleries is made, pretty much usually all end-to-end production on one site or maybe 2 sites. So there might be a brewery involved to the wash, and then everything else takes place in the distillery. Most of them mature on site, which again is quite unusual. If you look at the big, Scottish distilleries now, a lot of them have centralized warehouses. So that, the microclimate that affects maturation, which is a huge thing in America, actually doesn't really exist for a lot of Scotch distilleries. Not all of them, obviously, but for a lot.
We literally discussed that with Matt, aka the Dramble, talking about how your salt's not coming from the whiskey cask being stored by the sea. It's in the spirit and it's stored outside Glasgow. So he was like, sit down. That's what he's saying to people. Sit down, take a look at yourself. The salt's not coming from where it's stored. But whereas you're saying in England, lots of them are stored on site, right?
Yeah. And so the process generally, and this is generalizing, not everyone's doing all of this or to the same extent, but generally you are looking at interesting grains, which are lower alcohol yield, but provide more flavor. So your plumage archers, your laureates, your maris otters, or in the case of Fielden, whatever the fuck grows in the field, and they don't use pesticides, and they literally, you're probably drinking thistle water, but it tastes amazing. So you've got these amazing grains. You've got really interesting yeasts. So look at Circumstance Distillery in Bristol, right? Using Saison yeast, Bavarian beer yeasts, putting out all these like funky flavors from the fermentation, long fermentation, open top fermenters, letting little bits of every Tom, Dick, Harry, the distillery dog, the rats, the bees, the flies, everything's just contributing to this kind of, it's like a Duncan style whiskey.
Yeah, I did find them very wacky. I've tried a couple now and it's, incredible flavor range. Whiskey has to do 2 things for me. It has to be interesting, and 2, I have to like it. And there's some whiskies that I try I think are genuinely bonkers and super interesting, but I don't love them. But if people can do the interesting stuff and find something you like at some point, then they're winning, aren't they? Right. So,
yeah, 100%. So we've had the grains, we've had the yeast, we've had the long fermentations, usually a lower, slower distillation with a tighter cut. Really good casks, although there are some distilleries like Grasmere that have kind of said, look, we're never going to be able to afford the best wood, so we're going to do everything we can, like front load with flavor. So he's doing like a sour mash process and, like reusing yeasts and stuff and letting it get all really funky and deep and rich in that process. And distilling, taking tight cuts, and then, using whatever wood he can. And You can do things like hot fill, where he's kind of filling the casks at a higher temperature so that you actually force some of that flavour out of the wood straight away and force more of the liquid in.
Okay.
And, so all of this experimentation, and it's really interesting. It's every experience is different. Every distillery you go to in England, every tour, every bit of information, but you can't fault English whiskey for being boring. There's always something unique and interesting happening across the board.
Yeah.
There's so many now. I mean, for people listening, there's over 55. Is that right? I mean,
So there's
a lot.
61 on the latest map.
61.
The latest Cooper King map.
That's mad.
And where are the main groupings of those? I mean, when I look at it, they seem to be pretty spread out. But do you have any kind of hot areas?
Yeah, so Yorkshire is probably the area with the most established distilleries and a decent number of them. So you've got Farley Bay, which is Spirit of Yorkshire, over in Hunmanby on the coast. You've got Cooper King Distillery just outside York. You've got Whitaker's at Nidderdale.
Yeah.
You've got the Yorkshire Distilling Co. You've got a new Yorkshire Dales Distillery. Elsham Wold is technically Yorkshire, but right on the border with Lincolnshire. So yeah, Yorkshire's got a good mass of distilleries. The southwest as well, all on a much smaller scale, but you've got the likes of Scilliar's Distillery, Penrock. I know the guys at Tarleton's Gin are now making whiskey. You've got obviously the very first English whiskey of modern times, Hicks and Healy's, which was a collaboration between St Austell Brewery and Healy's Cider Farm. So actually, when people talk about the history of modern English whiskey, it actually started in Cornwall.
I think I've got a bottle of that somewhere.
Wow.
It's good stuff, actually. It's good stuff. Got some stuff in East Anglia. You get Adnams in Southwold. You've got obviously the English distillery.
Yeah, the English
in
whiskey.
Norfolk. There's some in London's got Bimber and East London.
I guess you can do London to Norwich, go via Southwold and do sort of four or five distilleries in that space, can't you? Oh, nice, Mike.
Hicks and Healy
Check
9.
that out.
Yeah.
That's right. When you've got 300 plus bottles sitting behind you, you're going to find stuff like that.
When he went, Hicks and Healy went, I've heard of that before. It's like, I've got
The fact that you can find it is mind blowing to me. I don't know
English
how
is
you...
down there somewhere.
Okay, you got an English section.
Ish.
That makes sense. All right, yeah.
Due south.
Yeah, to yourself. So, I look. This might be a difficult question for you, but I'm genuinely interested to hear it. So, however sort of politically balanced you need to be, feel free to do so. But of all of the 61, have any found a way into your heart that you really love for different for reasons that whatever it is, the story or the liquid?
I'd say all of them do for one reason or another. I mentioned Penrock down in Cornwall. This is a guy that lived in Tennessee for 20 years, worked with some of the foremost bourbon consultants, and has come back and set up a little distillery in Looe in Cornwall, making essentially Tennessee sour mash whiskey in Cornwall with local grains.
Brilliant.
And, tiny little casks, like 45 litre casks, and it's really small batches. And he's absolutely smashing it out of the park. But then at the other end, you've got, your Cotswolds and your White Peaks and your Lates that, they're much more established and, they're much more available. But the fact that people are now, hosting tastings in Scotland and including a bottle of White Teak or Lakes or Cotswolds or the English.
That's true. That's true. It's edging in. Well, yeah, the English particularly, I think, yeah.
And it's good to see, we've slated the Lakes slightly, Rich. For
It's
not
more
having
me, but yeah.
No, it is. But if you're not having a set direction, you've been doing enough time, let's focus a little bit because you're starting to lose people. Whereas you've got other companies that are like Wireworks, everyone else are like, this is what we're going for. This is going to be our core. This is what we should be known for. This is our taste. And I just hope more people dial that in a little bit quicker because that's where...
Don't you feel like you have upward trajectories and downward trajectories? And all I was saying was I felt that Lakes was slightly on a downward trajectory, but I'm sure they'll change it. That's my subjective opinion. And companies like White Peak and Wireworks, that's the same company, and the English are all on an upward trajectory in my view, right? The liquid keeps getting better. The management, the way they market it and what they do seems to be better and better.
No, yeah, it's only because I love Cooper King. I'm a founder member. I love everything they're doing, the whole setup, the ethos, the people involved, the stories. Yeah, just outstanding. A couple that risked it all, and touch wood, they're doing all right.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I was going to say, I have had, you could think about which distilleries from England I've had the most bottles from. And it is the Lakes, Cotswolds, and the English, obviously. And now White Peak Wireworks. They're the ones where I've had several bottles from each distillery. Whereas I've had, goodness knows how many bottles from Scotland.
Yeah.
So it's there. You're right. The big ones, they do find a way through to you, don't they? To get into your cabinet, to get onto your shelf, right? And then you've got all these other ones you're kind of sort of fighting for your attention and you have to sort of find a way to connect with them. That's why I was
and there's some that are so tiny that if you didn't live within 5 miles of the distillery, you'll probably never taste their spirit, and that's fine. That's not they're not trying to reach a kind of an educated whiskey audience. They're just making whiskey, release the odd barrel, it sells out like that. So there's Fen Spirits in Cambridge. There's I can't remember the name, Maison Miles in London, tiny little sort of bar distillery setup. So all these little operators as well. So the 61 on the map include people laying down 3 casks a year up to the biggest players. But even the biggest players in England are still minnows compared to your average Scottish distillery.
How many of these have you visited approximately, do you think, then over time?
Well, I'm taking off 2 more this week. So this week I'm going to go and visit Ten Hides and Wiley Distillery, which looks really interesting. So it's not far from, it's just down the road from Warminster Maltings, and it's very close to Witchmark Distillery. But it looks amazing, and copper pot stills. They look like full size. I'll fill you in once I've been. But that's completely kind of gone under the radar. So Sam there has just been kind of beavering away making whiskey and not shouting about it yet. Whereas obviously a lot of other distilleries try and lay that kind of causeway and make a big fuss before they've got whiskey to drum up interest. So there's some that are just going to appear out of nowhere. Speaking of which, actually, the whiskey that was made by Chase Distillery, Chase was bought by Diageo. They only promoted the gin. They didn't do anything with the whiskey. The whiskey's gone back into the hands of the Chase family, and they have a brand, Rosemorn Farm Distillery, I think is the name, and they are going to be releasing a 10-year-old whiskey off the bat this summer.
Wow.
Nice. What the fuck? How
Where's
you
it
just
come
sitting
from?
on 10-year stock? That's mega. I love that.
Just like that. Just straight into the just straight into the 10-year category. Actually, on that, we should say congratulations, because obviously the London Distillery have now launched they've sold out of their first re-release of as the sort of the relaunch of that brand.
Renaissance.
So congratulations, Renaissance. That's right. Congratulations to Matt and the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's exciting. London's always been underserved in a way by English distilleries. You've got Bimber, you've got East London. But having a third big distillery in London kind of feels appropriate.
Yeah, I often wonder which distilleries, for example, the English has a really good place. It's a really nice place to go and have a dram. Obviously, you have to drive. It's a little awkward, so you need to kind of go with somebody, or I don't know,
get a taxi.
Get a taxi. It's in the or stay locally, but it has both an amazing food place and sort of tasting hall, and even just in the shop area is just really lovely. You could happily sit in there for a couple of hours. Lovely tea. I haven't been to visit that many English distilleries outside of London and there. I need to get around and visit some more. I don't know about you, Mike. Have you visited many besides the sort of well-known ones like
I'm sort
Lakes
of
and
part of and things? Cooper King I've been a couple of times, but no. I think even the ones in Kent, I'm always like, I need to go.
Mate, we should be road tripping.
Copper
this
Rivet.
stuff.
Yeah, the issue with Kent and the issue with a lot of the English distilleries is because they are more local to where I am. I don't want to be driving there. I want to get the train because I'm getting trains. I don't have to worry about driving this, that, and the other. I think what England's missing is a fucking distillery right by a station, a major station in Kent, somewhere like Rochester, like near the cathedral, just something massive, blow it out the water. Shepherd Neame, how is Shepherd Neame not making whiskey?
You're right about that, Mike.
They're one of the greatest beer makers this country's ever produced, and they've got a fantastic bar network throughout England and everywhere else.
Is there one in Nottingham?
The sheriff of Nottingham's giggling away.
The sheriff of Croydon doesn't know about Nottingham, but but so for example, we went to a stag in Nottingham a while ago now, and it's a good place to go and have a few days, a lot of fun. But Mike's right. If there was one within 5 minutes, 10 minutes walk of the train station, 5 minutes, say, the business it would do. Yeah. You're making me think now, Mike, you need to be looking at places where people go and spend weekends regularly with friends or stags or hens or whatever.
Cocaine Pub is shut down and it's huge. So I want Shepherd Neame to come in and just put a couple of stills in there because there's a gin company that's brewed in someone's back garden about 1,000 meters from my house, which I'm not going to tell you the company name because you can locate me, you weirdos. And I'm like, why are you not talking? Come together. Good whiskey, good gin, nice bar. Let's put the prices up. Price out the chavs. Get some good people and make some good product. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Which is I'm staying neutral.
Canterbury Brewers and Distillers. So they have the Foundry. It's a brew pub, micro distillery. they use the chaff from the distillation, so that the spent grains, they actually grow mushrooms, which they then cook in the restaurant.
They
So
grow
you
mushrooms.
can get the strange house camp. Yeah.
Okay, all right. This has escalated quickly. So, what have been some of your favourite English whiskey releases? I know it's a big question, but this is what you do.
Well,
This is your
you
thing.
can buy a bottle of our Ludlow cider brandy cask. There's about 30 bottles left. So that was a still in cask project. So I was chatting to Sean at Ludlow. So they put the smallest commercial still in England. It's a 200-litre direct wood-fired still. It's the only wood-fired still in England. So when you go through the distillery, there's more wood than anything else. So
Right.
pallets and pallets of wood.
Yeah.
But that was 18 months ex-bourbon, and we transferred it over to a really rich Herefordshire cider brandy cask that they produced for like a white label cider brandy for a Herefordshire cidery. Really rich, but it's lightly peated, so you got this little waft of smoke. Really rich, sort of toffee apple tart tartan notes coming through. That's really popular at festivals. So yeah, buy that one. But I guess other things available. The Cooper King have got some fantastic products. I think their latest cask series is only a distillery exclusive, so you have to go and visit them to get your hands on that. But that's a rye cask transferred to a port cask. Retribution have got whiskey out. So their first release sold out. I think their second release is still available. So again, single casks, very small batch. Whitakers have still got whiskey on the market. So yeah, if you're looking, obviously if it's your very first drop of English whiskey, you're probably going to go Cotswolds or White Peak or the English distillery. I mean, the English distillery are quite interesting. They release so many different products. So, they do single malt, they do unpeated, they do peated, they do heavily peated, they do cask series, they do rye whiskies, they do corn whiskies. They make their own sherry to season their cask to do their sherry whiskey. Like they churn.
They do rye whiskies that don't even taste like rye whiskey, that taste like single malt, which is mind blowing.
But you visit the distillery and everyone is so chilled out. They've got a
they're super
release
chilled.
calendar that's like literally like a Gatling gun. And yet you walk around and everyone's just like, you're right. Yeah, nothing to see here.
That's because they get free drink during the day.
It's because it's got quite a nice ambient environment. That's one of my favourite distillery shops, that one. It's just super spacious and low pressure. It's always a few people in there, but it's never rammed.
But actually, I tell you what, if we're talking about an entry level, not an entry level, because that's not the right term, that does it a disservice. But if you want to experience everything that English whiskey can do and does do, but in a way that isn't going to scare you off, I highly recommend Copper Rivet. So they do a single malt in a pot, a single malt in a column, and a grain whiskey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And they are really smooth. They're really creamy, a little bit nutty, but they're not scary whiskies. They're kind of all year round. You can sip them neat. You can bang them in a highball. Yeah, really, really good stuff. So
not that I'm doing them a disservice, and obviously I want you to go and buy stuff from them, but the auctions are flooded with Copper Rivet. You will pick them up cheap. So go and have you probably pick up a bottle for 25, 30 quid on auction that was probably 45. So you're saving a $5 or whatever. I mean, they've already sold the bottle and made their money. But have an eye on auctions because it is flooded with Copper Rivet.
Or you could get yourself a tasting pack.
It's actually a really good idea because if you don't know much about English whiskey, then probably the easiest way is to have a tasting pack, isn't it, rather than get stuck.
So what's in that?
Brand new. So we've got the Masterhouse Distillery exclusive, which is absolutely delicious. That's Copper Rivet Distillery. We've got a sample of our Ludlow. We've got a sample of our 9-year-old Adnams, which is just bonkers. It was French oak in Cistern cask. We've got the Wireworks Port Wine LBV, so the Port Wine Lake Bottle Vintage from White Peak, and then the English heavily smoked cask fusion.
So where is that tasting pack from?
That's from exploringenglishwhisky.co.uk.
What is the company? Is it Dram Team that's assisted with that?
The Dram Team are the company that produced them for us. They're our pack. So
beautiful.
I feel like if I had to pick a few bottles, like 3 bottles or something, the reason I've opened up a Wireworks Caduro is because I think not necessarily that bottle, but maybe the bourbon one. But you can't really go wrong with a Wireworks from White Peak. So lightly peated that you could probably slip it in, and someone that doesn't like peat would enjoy it as well. If you do like peat, you're going to think it's sort of magical.
Some of those Bimber Ex-Burbs casks, some of those are magical.
Yeah, and look, Bimber don't have a core release, do they? And I think you kind of need to have a kind of core. It's a shame. You kind of need to have a core release. So I think the other one would probably be the English, either that one that won the World Whiskey Award, the one in the purple box, or their yellow one, the bourbon cask one, which is an 11-year-old. Yeah, I have a few bottles of that. And then Cotswolds, the 6,200 single malt. that keeps giving until the end of time. There's 6,200 in each batch. It never changes.
What batch number are we on? Shut up.
We don't know. But they'd probably be the three that I would sort of stand out to me.
So actually, the English have released their Chapter 18 today, in fact, I think. So the Chapter 18 is not an 18-year-old whiskey, but it does have some 18-year-old whiskey in it. So it is the kind of end of their chapter journey. Now they've hit the 18 mark. So I think it's got 18-year-old whiskey, 15-year-old whiskey, and 12-year-old whiskey. So that's that's quite an impressive bottle and really affordable for given the age of the whiskies in there.
One release I'm really looking forward to at the moment is the blend, which is a mixture between the London Distillery Company and Adnams. And so that's the next English whiskey that I think I'm going to purchase. It's a blend between the two done by the London Distillery Company. Is there anybody, Richard, that you see that you think is capable of getting to that core expression, like on enough volume? Because so many of them just say they haven't got the capacity to do it. It's like catch-22. They're too small. They want to put out interesting stuff, so they don't have enough cast and space to do it.
Yeah, that is the challenge. But most of them are too small to have a consistent core release. So I think probably the top 10 out of 60 can manage it, but the others, it's just not going to be on their agenda. So you're going to see batch releases, single casts. You might see some other blends coming down the line, but it's not feasible, especially not from a kind of national or international listing perspective.
Yeah. And how do you think English whiskey is being perceived around the world at the moment then?
Well, it seems to be smashing out the park when it comes to awards. In the last 4 years, there have been 2 world's best whiskies. So the Lakes and English both picked that accolade up. Wireworks just did really well. Sanfram. I think the quality can't be faulted, especially compared to other craft whiskies, other world whiskies. The bowl's not necessarily burst, but there's definitely a deflation of interest in Scotch in the way there was previously. And people are looking for flavour, they're looking for stories, they're looking for something interesting to open with friends. And I think that really benefits categories like English, where actually you go, I could spend 100 quid on a Diageo special releases or 100 quid on one of 300 bottles from my local distillery. Which one's going to give you the better chat around the barbecue?
And that's where that came from. That was one of the boys went to Cornwall on family holiday. I saw a Cornish whiskey. I grabbed it for you, put it away. We hammered quite a chunk of it on that first weekend, and I have not touched it since. And that was probably 6 years ago, maybe. If that, it's just been sat there.
It'd be great now. It's had 6 years of...
It's lovely. I've been diving into it going, oh, shit, that's not going to last long now.
I do think there's something we need to get away from there. And look, Anthony brought it up, Spirit of Brum, when they were on the pod. And it's this whole buy local. And that's great. And I agree with it. I buy local. I buy things that are available locally. If there was a whiskey distillery that was in walkable distance, I would be there all the time. But there isn't.
You go to local calf. You don't travel to go to a calf.
Don't talk about calves, because my favourite calf is changing ownership in September, and I'm absolutely devastated.
Is it turning into a barber's or a vape shop?
No, it's going to stay as a calf. But I was like, I said to him, how can you guarantee the coffee's going to be as good? He's like, I can't. I was like, sugarcoat it for me. You can't just say it. He's like, they'll probably use the same machine. I was like, but it's not you making it.
What bean? Anyway, find out what bean they're using.
I did ask. I'll get the beans, create it at home. But then I'll never go out again. But the point is that this whole shop local thing, I get it. But in reality, English whiskey can't just thrive on that. If you're a distillery in Bristol or in Norwich, you need people all round England and all round the world to be buying your whiskey, right?
But so they don't
the shop local thing.
But they don't. So if you take Dartmoor Whiskey Distillery, who are in an old town hall in Bovey Tracer on the edge of Dartmoor, on a Saturday, they get coach loads of tourists coming down. They come in, they sit them down at tables with the flights already poured out. Stills are at the end.
Yeah.
There's no tour. You sit down, you watch a video, you drink some whiskey. Simon, the founder, gets up, talks about some special class that's now 500 quid a bottle. Some American tourists will buy it, get back on the coach, bish bash bosh. He is not pushing his stuff anywhere else. He is not they deliberately openly.
But that's niche.
He's not got listings. It is, but that is what most English whiskey is. It's a niche within a niche. Like I said, for those bigger.
Go further though. What I'm saying is, English people, if you're English and you want to rather than just say shop local, and you buy a bottle of whiskey, 2 bottles of whiskey a month, and they're all Scottish, just try to put some of your whiskey purchases into English whiskey.
I'm going to be controversial. Is English whiskey scalable to an international stage.
It doesn't sound like it is at the moment. Only a couple of them.
Well, have you heard about the Princetown distillery?
No.
So,
Go on.
Rowan Moore, who is an ex-miner, as in not like the guy with the hard hat, but the guy that, flew over areas of land and went, I'm going to dig there and find some gems.
He was a landman.
Landman.
He's a landman.
He was landman.
He's invested his money into a massive project on Dartmoor, Princetown, on Duchy of Cornwall land. So the king, when he was prince, actually went and visited the site while it was done the construction. They have taken the Glen Farclas still design and bought them from Forsyths, and they have massive bits of equipment. It's still under construction, so they're not even producing spirit yet. But if it gets up and running, it could be producing 2 million LPA a year, which is sort of their Farclas size.
Now we're talking,
And
Richard.
Four times bigger than Cotswolds.
Now we're talking.
Shit.
But it's not in production, and they've got a long, long way to go, both financially and physically, to get there. So, is it possible? Yes. Is it definitely going to happen? We'll have to wait and see.
No, it's a maybe.
Good though. Jesus, look at that. Serious question asked. Instant answer. I love it. We are
good job.
We are a proper podcast. Would you believe?
Educational. Don't let it get too educational.
Yeah.
I've just bought a wee dram of Springbank Handfilled, and the only reason I've done that
To show off.
it's only a hand-filled. Richard, it's only a hand-filled bowl.
What I've done is get a Scotch whiskey, irrelevant to the podcast, and it's quite rare.
No, because it's
people
Springbank.
are jealous, so I'm going to open it.
When people listen to this, the Springbank drop would have happened. And I just wanted to say, if you missed out on the Springbank drop, remember, you can just buy a bottle of Handfilled. It's somewhere between 5 to 8 years old. It's absolutely banging. You get it for sort of 70 quid or 65 quid at auction. Just relax. Forget about the fact you couldn't get the special edition one. Get some car strength Handfilled. It varies every time. And just
Buy a 10. I guarantee you there will be multiple places with huge
Yeah,
stock of
buy a
Springbank
10.
10. Just have a 10. If
Exactly,
you get a
that's-
unicorn, fucking mega. But remember, just relax.
relax.
We'll go back and look at our episodes at previous Springbank hunts, and you can see the various states of rage, disappointment me and Duncan have experienced over time.
Oh, yeah.
Until we've now hit just
denial.
a plateau of give a fuck. At some point,
give a fuck.
we'll get some.
So on whiskey, is there anything else that you'd like to share about exploring English whiskey or English whiskey that I think our listeners would find very interesting? I'm sure there's some things that you think are relevant to what's going on at the moment or might unfold.
I mean, there's a lot
upcoming.
of stuff going on at the kind of upper echelons with the English Whisky Guild and the GI application stuff. But to be honest, that doesn't affect drinking.
Oh,
I think, go and find your local distillery. Go and visit them. Your 20 quid to go on a tour and maybe buy something at the bar or shop afterwards it's such a huge impact on these businesses. And you might pick up something that you really love. You might just find it interesting and not love it, but you'll learn something about their production process that might make you sound a little bit, more opinionated about whiskey when you go to your next tasting. Might give you some, some cannon fodder. But yeah, there's so many now, and like I said, some are really tiny, some are kind of more bars, some are more like distilleries traditionally, with tours and cafes and stuff. But yeah, they're there for the taking, really. Go and visit them, explore them, enjoy them. We do organise tours, so we're going to the Cheshire, which is Wheatwood Brewing Distillery, in October. So if you want to come with us and get the VIP treatment, then look on our one. We always get extra drams and special things and get to go in warehouses that aren't open to the public. So we pull some strings. And this is a little tip. If you have someone in your life that doesn't like whiskey but is interested in Anglo-Saxon history, take them to Ardgeffen Distillery, because there's both a museum and a distillery on site. So they can walk around the museum and learn about Anglo-Saxon history and see artifacts, and you can go and get drunk.
Yeah,
I like
or
it.
you can classily sample whiskey. It's a hobby.
Drunk
Or you
knowledge.
can find
Sorry,
someone
drunk
interested in that and bully him into taking you on a whiskey
Yeah, actually, it's a
tasting.
good tip. That's a really good tip. It would be good to look at where whiskey distilleries are located with relation to other things you can do, because obviously in making a day work, if there is a distillery, it's good if it's near to something else. You've got maybe an afternoon and a morning, so ideally you want to be able to do a couple of things in a day if you're travelling somewhere. Do you think it's time to get into your Pudding Island drams, Mr. Richard Foster?
I mean, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
Look at that.
I'm going to call you out of this because the podcast hasn't been going your entire life. It's only been going for the last couple of years or so. So
No, but he knew, because it's such
He
a
knew.
good feature. It's
When he
almost
was-
like it might have been around for your entire life in a different guise on a different platform that's
In a
known as
different
British
timeline.
Broadcasting Corporation. There's nothing like Pudding Island drams. So definitely haven't been preparing your whole life. Only 2. Let's
2.
make that clear for the legal teams out there.
Over to you, Mike. Let's take us through it.
So you are not stranded, but you're visiting an island of your choosing for 30 days. The island can be sunny, it can be rainy, it can be lovely, it can be horrible. It's whatever you want it to be. While you're there, you get to have the option of 1 dessert that you can eat the entire time. You get 1 album you can listen to for those 30 days. 1 whiskey, whether that links in with your music or the food or whatever you want, or if it's just a really expensive one, entirely up to you. Then when you're done on this excursion, you just need to let us know how you're going to get home, i.e. the mode of transport, and who is going to be picking you up. So where would you like to begin? What would you like? What are you most confident about of your selections? Whiskey, dessert,
I think we do it in order.
or...
I think we do it in order. I want to go geography first.
Go on then. What's the island?
I was going to start off and be facetious and say Great Britain because it is the best island in the world, but I realise that's a bit of a cop-out answer. So it's taking you in the truest sense of the term island. I'm actually going to go to Burr Island in Devon. You know Burr Island?
No.
So Burr Island has a causeway, so it's connected to the mainland, and then the tide rises, and it's an island and no longer connected to the mainland. And it has a beautiful Art Deco hotel, which is synonymous with kind of murder mysteries and stuff, but it has a lovely bar and views over the sea, really swanky. It has a lovely little pub called the Pilchard Inn. And the great thing is, when the tide rises, all the tourists leave. So if you were lucky enough to stay there, which I haven't yet, but this is part of my dream, so I'm manifesting. Yeah, if you're lucky enough to stay on the island, everyone else fucks off, and you get this island with this gorgeous Art Deco hotel.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Clearly someone's going to get murdered, and you're going to find yourself in an episode of Department Q or whatever that is.
Well, when you're ready to write your whiskey-based murder mystery, give me a shout, because I'm in for writing credits on that.
For 1 second, I thought it was going to be a Northern Ireland with a bear problem. Burr Island.
I would love to spend more time in Devon. I've only done a wee bit of exploring.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful part of the world, Devon and Cornwall. It does feel like somewhere you could spend a long time exploring, right? So Burr Island, hot tip there.
That's good.
Yeah, so I've got a family down there, and my grandparents used to live there. So we'd go to Dartmoor, and then we'd go to stay down by the coast. So the area of the coast is kind of Cornwall, but without tourists.
What's the hotel called? I think I can see it.
It is called Burr Island Hotel.
Oh, quite straightforward. Easy to find. Fuck it. It is the only hotel on the island.
Don't overthink the name of the hotel, folks. Burr Island Hotel.
So, decent. That is a fantastic idea. And I'm assuming you're staying in the Burr Island Hotel that is completely empty. But you've got the luxury of choosing that. So, I'm going to go with music. What album?
I love music, and I love a lot of different styles of music. But I thought, what would I want to listen to if I had to listen to the same thing over and over and over again?
It's not torture, Richard. Just to be clear, this isn't Guantanamo Bay. They're not trying to break you with a Spice Girls.
It's not the fucking Barney song.
You choose when you push play. Like you're already making this a survival exercise.
Waterboarding is only on request.
It's a pleasant break for 30 days.
Well, that's what got me thinking was actually what would I like to listen to? So I've got 2 children, they're 9 and 6. I have to listen to Meghan Trainor and weird toothbrushing songs, and this one that they started listening to the other day that the only lyrics are something like "I'm a doggy, doggy, I'm a doggy, doggy, I'm a dog," and I just want to shoot myself.
I don't want to wind you up, but our 5-year-old listens to Guns N' Roses and she likes it, right? So
my son likes Prince, but my daughter's in control of the Spotify. She's 6. Don't mess. So what I thought was, this is an opportunity to really stop and actually listen to music, because we never really listen, do we, these days? It's on in the background. So I'm going to take the London Symphony Orchestra playing Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony, because it is
beautiful, man.
It's just one of the most powerful, beautiful pieces of music that just transports you. He writes obviously ballet music, but this isn't set to a ballet, so you picture your own things going on in your head as you listen to it. So I'm going to close my eyes at the bar at the Burr Island Hotel and just be absorbed in this beautiful symphonic sound.
I love that choice. That's beautiful.
That's a very strong choice. Fair play.
And then my second choice was Little Shop of Horrors soundtrack with Rick Moranis.
I love it. I love it when people say they have a second or third, because it means they really thought about it. Right? Because it's so hard when you feel like people are sort of narrowing you down. Right?
Yeah. That's decent.
I actually listened to Animals, the full album from Pink Floyd, because it was the last recommendation from Matt, aka the Dramble, and often we'll do that. We'll spin whatever was recommended during the week. Yeah.
Well, it's like one of my like go-tos, like I've said to you before, is our Puddin' Island playlist.
Yeah, it's good.
But I
Shout out.
cannot stop going to Frightened Rabbit, which is Luke Patience's
Yes.
recommendation.
It was. I spun that as well. It was good.
Like,
yeah.
What a band. Yeah, I sit there just going, this guy, he sounds like he's been forced to sing, because he's like, there's no huge vocal. Like, he's not filling an arena with this voice. He is there, torturous vocals, like from the lowest bass to the highest. And you're like, how has this guy got this range, yet doesn't give a fuck? Quite clearly. And I'm like, I love everything about it. It's outstanding. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, compared to Barney the Dinosaur, as you suggest as your third choice, Richard, off record.
My third choice was Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots by Flaming Lips. You know.
Oh, Flaming Lips. See,
mate.
yeah. Oh, man. Well, they're all good choices. We used to... Classical music, whenever I used to go around my wife's house when I was younger, there was always classical music on all the time. And one of my friends at uni was really into classical music as well. So I kind of got into listening to it a bit more since then. But I have to be honest, I don't really put it on anymore, which I think is a shame.
Oh, mate. Well, I'm going to say to you, like, Isla's been banned from TV now from 5:30 onwards because it's too stimulating.
What about 2 a.m. with the yogurt?
2 a.m. with the yogurt, absolutely
fine.
fucking fine. Smash it out. But from 5:30, classic FM calm.
Game changer.
Like, she literally is like, ah.
Yeah.
It's
very
the
nice.
Gregorian chanting.
Just, yeah.
So hang on, where have we got to so far? So we've had album and backup albums. And we've had islands. What's next, Mike?
I want to save whiskey to last with Rich, so I want dessert next, please, sir.
So I very luckily had 3 nights in Verona with my wife recently with no children, which was just fantastic. But for me, one of the highlights was, I love my children, but yes, everyone needs to bring it down.
I'm going to edit that out. Shut up.
Edit that bit out.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I hate.
They just ruin nice experiences like going out to eat.
Just sounded a bit devil-like, but yeah. So go on. So you had a lovely break with your wife.
So we were in Verona, and I'm a big fan of the tiramisu, but we found a cafe that did pistachio tiramisu, which is like 2 of my favorite things in the world.
Ooh.
And honestly, I could have just
great.
You could have like just made a bath of this stuff and had a swim around in it. It was divine.
So talk us through this pistachio tiramisu. How is that better than standard tiramisu?
Well, it's like green
It's got pistachio.
tiramisu. It's got like pistachio cream,
Yeah, but I mean-
little like, bits of pistachio topping. It was just divine. It was maybe
I
had to
want
be there.
that.
But it was light, wasn't it? Was it light? I bet because tiramisu is so
but
light,
it is in
isn't
Italy,
So
like,
fluffy.
The they just get it right. I mean,
Yeah, you
everything,
sort of just
all the
inhale it.
food and wine and booze. Actually, really interestingly, talking about your mate picking up the Cornish whiskey. When we were in, we went to Lake Garda for a day. We got the bus. We were like low rent tourists in Lake Garda, and there was a spirit shop there, and they had Italian whiskey. And very annoyingly, I didn't have any checked-in luggage, so I couldn't buy a whiskey to take home. But it was a few days before they chose the new pope, and this whiskey was called Conclave. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Conclave, and so I really wanted to buy a bottle and drink it during the conclave, and be all like, I'm drinking Conclave during the conclave, watching the conclave. Didn't happen.
Yeah, meta.
It's out there.
Right.
Duncan, to your little springback moment. If I wanted to show off, I'd just hold up a large bag of pistachios. They are so expensive these days.
I'm not showing off with the Springbank. It's only 60 quid. This is the famous Bert Smedley Springbank, where I Tipp-X'd out the name that came from the person. I wrote Bert Smedley over the top, so it looks like it's from Bert Smedley. It isn't. But if I wanted to show off, I'd get a decent bottle out of the cupboard. It's just Springbank pish. It's just pish. That's all it is.
Love it.
I'm waiting for Richard to pick a Scottish whiskey. Don't change your mind now. You know you're going to say a Scottish whiskey, Richard. Go on.
What
whiskey
is the whiskey? Come on.
It's such a big call, isn't it? Like, just have one whiskey. Okay, it's not for life. It's for 30 days, but just have one whiskey. Kind of want to chicken out and say, I actually am really enjoying this Low. It just has a little bit of everything. It's got a little bit of smoke. It's got that apple kind of tartatan puddingy thing. It's got layers, but it's also
Tartatan.
just you don't have to think
Tartatan.
too hard. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Works well in the highball, in a cocktail, neat. So it's versatile. And we can do those whiskey cocktails by the piano in the bar at the hotel.
That's true.
Whiskey pianist,
letter.
take note.
What was your second choice then, Richard?
Look at Dunk's like, yeah, you can say that, but I'm
You
going to
can
push
say
you
that,
for
but what's
another
your
one.
second choice?
To be honest, I kind of went around in circles on this and just went, I'm going to take the easy route out. Pick one of my own. Let's be sensible. Let's be sensible. I really enjoy. Actually, I'm going to say it's a whiskey that I can't get hold of, so I'd really enjoy drinking it for 30 days. And it is an Italian whiskey. It's called Puni.
Oh, Puni, yeah.
I've never tried
So
it.
it's really good, and there's no distributor in the UK, so you can't buy it. Yeah,
Right.
So I'm going to sit. It's very stylish as well, so I feel like it would look really good.
Yeah, it's very, very classy. And also the distillery looks amazing. It's like a piece of art, isn't it?
It's like a kind of lattice honeycomb thing.
Yeah, it looks incredible. Oh,
So, who, with your 2 empty bottles of whiskey, because you're greedy, is going to be picking you up from the island, and what is the mode of transport?
So this is an easy one. I haven't stayed there, but I have been there, and we went kayaking around the island with my kids and my wife. So they're going to come and pick me up in the kayaks, and we're going to paddle off into the sunset.
Yeah, boo. Sell out.
kids, though. Kids is better than misses. Or all of them. Did you say all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go
All
sell
of
out. I think because you've mentioned kids is better. Most people
Yeah.
say my wife because they feel guilty about going on an imaginary trip for 30 days, even though it's not real. So
Yeah.
I was like, Dave Grohl,
Yeah.
my wife and kids. I mean, it's beautiful.
Sorry, is that a letdown?
You're a better person.
You could have
than
had,
I
look,
am,
listen, Richard, you could have
simply.
had anyone from all time and you've picked your wife
Yeah.
and kids. I think that's lovely. But,
Yeah.
cop
But
out,
second
it's fine, it's
choice,
fine.
who would it?
If something was to happen to your wife and kids on the way and you're just gonna phone in, you're just gonna phone in the next person.
They've missed a flight. They can't pick you up.
They can't. They can't.
What other
make it.
celebrities?
Okay, so let's go Bruce Springsteen in a Mustang, and we'll drive down.
Oh, now we're talking. The boss.
Yes,
He'd only, but the thing is, he'd be
boss.
bending you ear about how much he doesn't like Trump on the way back, wouldn't he? That's the thing. He'd just be.
I would.
He's right, but
I
he'd
would
be
give
bending your ear about it.
anything
Well,
to spend.
yeah, but Trump would be in the boot.
Yeah, that's true. Trump in the boot, the boss driving.
Straight for Mexico. It would be down the south coast or the west coast, heading south to Mexico. You do with him what you want.
You put We Didn't Start the Fire on again. You go, oh, listen to this so many times. You go, come on, Bruce. It's my first time in the car with you. We're doing it. Come on.
That's like one of those songs. I have tried numerous times to learn that song at the right pace, and it just never sticks. It's something I want to do, just be able to reel off those lyrics.
Bang.
I think that would be like legendary to no one but me.
You're getting your songs mixed up because he didn't do Start Fire. He did I'm on Fire.
Oh, did he not?
What?
I didn't
No.
We Didn't
start
Start
the
the Fire.
fire.
That's not Springsteen.
Is it not? Oh, is it a cover?
Oh my
Billy
God,
Joel.
it's
performed it.
Billy Joel.
Billy
What
Joel.
the
It's Billy Joel,
fuck?
isn't it? It's Billy Joel.
We've
Yeah.
been embarrassed on our own pod. We are just
right.
absolutely wrong.
Then I take it back. I don't even like Bruce Springsteen.
I fucking love that.
Billy Joel's amazing. Look,
Yeah.
listen. So you're in the Mustang with Billy Joel. Trump's in the boot. Yeah.
Mate.
Bruce Springsteen running along the hike, going, "Give me my car back."
Springsteen in the front. You're like, listen, I'm gonna put Billy Joel on. Are you okay?
I
with
wrote
that?
the lyrics. He just sung it.
On songs, before I forget, 1996, my favourite song from 1996. I looked it up because I had a hunch it was from 1996.
Yeah.
So, as in, I typed it in to check to see, and it was indeed. It's Remember Me by Blue Boy. Now, I couldn't search best songs in 1996
Oh.
because it wouldn't come up. But it's my favourite song from 1996.
Is that 96?
Remember Me. Yeah, like it says, look, Remember Me is a 1996 song by British DJ Alexis Lex
It's
Blackmore.
2,000 years in the future. How many numbers you just fucking rolled out then?
1996. But anyway, that's my favourite song from 1996.
Do you
I had a
want
hunch.
to know a good thing about that song? Why I love that song? Because you know on the flip reverse to Cass Walkaway, Remember Me was played after Wales beat France for one of the first times in like 20 years.
Really?
That was the outro music. Yeah, Wales fucking hammering the French. So thank you, Duncan. That's brought back a really good memory.
I feel like that Billy Joel moment was up there with you saying Fleetwood Mac had an album called Albatross. Oh my days.
The musical geniuses that we think we are.
Absolutely. We should probably wrap it up there, really, shouldn't we? What do
I
you
think on that embarrassing note, apologies to everyone from New York. Yeah, it's been wonderful. Rich, if people wanted to find you online as well as your various escapades, where are they looking on the interwebs?
So I think my handle on Instagram like Richard_A_Foster because that's seamless. But yeah, the business is Exploring English Whisky and Exploring Whisky. So if you live in London or Birmingham, we do local tastings as Exploring Whisky. Exploring English Whisky is national, but the main festival is in Birmingham in November. That's November the 22nd. You can still buy an early bird ticket. So you want to head on over to exploringenglishwhisky.co.uk for that one. And then we've just launched tickets for Bristol and Croydon for next year.
Lovely. Dunk.
If you like the pod and you've had a fun time listening to it, go and give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms. We appreciate it and it spreads the word of the pod.
Beautiful. You can find us at www.honestomalt.com and at honestomalt on all social media. Thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.